Multi-step equations. As equations become more complex, you should first simplify each side of the equation, so combine like terms and use the distributive property if needed. Then use inverse operations to solve the equation. For example, here we have 5x plus 7x plus 4 equals 28. The first step, combine the like terms. 5 plus 7 gives us 12x. Plus 4 equals 28. Now we have a two-step problem. Undo the addition with subtraction. Subtract 4 from both sides. 28 minus 4 is 24, so we have 12x equals 24. Then we undo the multiplication with division. Divide both sides by 12 so that the 12s cancel, giving us x equals 2. Negative 1 equals 2r minus 7r plus 19. First, let's combine those like terms. 2r minus 7r is negative 5r. Then we want to get r by itself, so we need to get rid of that 19. To undo plus 19, we subtract 19. The 19's cancel. Negative 1 minus 19 is negative 20. So now we have negative 20 equals negative 5r. Divide both sides by negative 5. And look, those negative signs are going to cancel. 20 over 5 is 4. Then you can flip the whole thing around if you'd like, so that it says r equals 4. Try these examples. First, we're going to combine the like terms. 12h minus 10h is 2h. Then we're going to subtract the 7 to the other side, so subtract 7 from both sides. 25 minus 7, shown here, is 18. Then divide both sides by 2 to get h equals 9. Alright, the first step is to combine the like terms. 17 plus 6 is 23. Now we solve. We're going to subtract 23 from both sides, and we get negative 9f equals 117, because we subtracted 23 from both sides. Then we're going to divide both sides by negative 9, giving us f equals negative 13. The first step is to combine the like terms. We have negative 17q and plus 7q, so that gives us negative 10q. We're also going to add 13 to both sides. So that gives us that 27 plus 13 over here, which becomes 40. Then we divide both sides by negative 10, giving us q equals negative 4. Always check to see that both sides of the equation are simplified before you begin solving the equation. When an equation is simplified, there should be at most one term for each variable and one constant term. Remember, the distributive property is a times parentheses b plus c equals a times b plus a times c. Here are some examples. If we want to distribute the 5 times 20 plus 5 times 6. 9 times 30 minus 9 times 2. 3 times 5 plus 3 times 2x. And negative 2 times 4x minus negative 2 times 7. Some equations may include parentheses with variables or numbers. Sometimes the distributive property might be helpful in isolating the variable. For example, you could use the distributive property as shown below as a first step in solving for x. So here we have an x and another x here. So in order to free up this x, we need to distribute the 5. So 5 times x, shown here, minus 5 times 6, which is 30. Then we have minus 3x equals 8. Now we can combine the like terms. 5x minus 3x gives us 2x. Add 30 to both sides. We get 38, and then divide both sides by 2 to get x equals 19. As with most multi-step equations, with this example, we have different options to solve. Discuss. 2 times parentheses b minus 8 equals 28. Compare these two reasonable approaches to solving this equation. Here, before we distribute, we actually divide both sides by 2. That gets rid of the 2. 28 divided by 2 is 14. And then we can just get rid of those parentheses. because there's nothing else multiplying here. So then we add 8 to both sides, and we just get b equals 22. Here, we distributed first, so we get 2b minus 16, 2 times b minus 2 times 8. Then we add 16 to both sides, then we divide by 2. So you get the same answer, but this took a little bit more work. I would say this approach on the left is better. Solve each of these. Since we have an r here and here, we're going to have to distribute that 4 so that we free up the r. So 4 times r gives us 4r minus 4 times 2, which is 8. Now we can combine like terms. 3r plus 4r gives us 7r. We still have the minus 8, so we're going to add 8 to both sides. We get 7r equals 21, which is 13 plus 8. Then we just divide both sides by 7, and we get r equals 3. For this one, there's two approaches. The first approach is to distribute first. We get 3w minus 3 times 2, which is 6, equals 9. Then we add 6 to both sides to get rid of the 6 on the left side. Then we divide both sides by 3 to get w equals 5. Here, we just divide both sides initially by 3. So we skip distributing altogether. We do that, and then we just have to add 2 to both sides, and we get the same answer. So you can see that approach 2 is better, although both work. Solve each of these. All right, here we have an m here and an m here, so we're going to have to distribute that 2. 2 times 2m gives us 4m, plus 2 times 7 is 14. Now we can combine the m's. 6m plus 4m is 10m. We're going to subtract 14 from both sides, giving us 40 on the right side. Divide both sides by 10, and we get m equals 4. For this one, there's two approaches, and both take about the same amount of work. Here, we're going to distribute first. So 4 times 2d becomes 8d. 4 times 5 becomes 20, equals 92. Then we subtract 20 from both sides, and then divide both sides by 8 to get d equals 9. Over here, first we divide both sides by 4, giving us 2d plus 5 equals 23. Then we subtract 5 from both sides, and then divide both sides by 2, giving us the same answer of d equals 9.